recall the principles.
Sadly, South Africa is yet again compelled to return to this court in recognition of its obligation under the Genocide Convention due to the continuing annihilation of the Palestinian people, with over 35,000 now killed and most of Gaza reduced to rubble. Despite the short notice of this oral hearing, South Africa has traveled here today to do what it can to urgently stop the ongoing genocide. The gravity of the attacks requiring urgent and speedy proceedings to preserve the rights of the Palestinian people, a commitment which South Africa takes seriously. South Africa had hoped, when we last appeared before this court, to halt this genocidal process, to preserve Palestine and its people. Instead, Israel's genocide has continued apace and has just reached a new and horrific stage. Israel has sought to hide its crimes through the weaponization of international humanitarian law. It pretends that the civilians it ruthlessly kills through its 2,000-pound bombs, through its targeted airstrikes, through its artificial intelligence systems, through its executions, are human shields. This whitewashing of Israel's genocide misses the key and fundamental element, that of the massive and still mounting evidence of Israel's genocidal intent.
The majority of whom have been forcibly displaced from North and Central Gaza.
Although this present application was triggered by the unfolding horrific situation in Rafah, Israel's genocidal onslaught across Gaza has intensified over the past few days, also warranting the attention of this court.
Safe areas to which they've been directed by Israel.
But the essential point is that the court has the power to act. to ensure that its previous orders and its eventual judgment will not be worthless, and that the Palestinian people will be protected, and that it needs to exercise that power now. This is the last step in the destruction of Gaza and its Palestinian people. It was Rafah that brought South Africa to the court, but it is all Palestinians as a national, ethnical and racial group who need the protection from genocide that the court can order.
A bit closer, please.
Closer.
This close. Even closer. Yeah, like that. Thank you.
This is now the third time that we've come and asking for provisional orders. And we're asking for provisional orders because the situation in the whole of Gaza, but in particular in Rafah, has changed drastically since the last time we came to the court. What we're seeing is the genocidal acts intensifying, we're seeing the killings intensifying, and our legal teams have demonstrated the facts on these changing circumstances, including the genocidal acts in both Rafah and in Gaza. The legal teams specifically pointed out to the unabated killing since we came here in January, and they pointed out that at least 13,000 people died since we came in January, and asked for these provisional orders. What we're asking for is the court to use its powers to stop this carnage. The court to use its powers in an unambiguous way to stop this. That we do not need the court to provide language that infers what Israel must do, that the court must explicitly state that Israel must stop its genocidal acts in Rafah, that it must stop its genocidal acts in Gaza, and that includes an unambiguous call to cease its military operations in Rafah and the whole of Gaza. The court has previously said that its calls for humanitarian aid to be provided unhindered can only be done if there is a ceasefire in place. What our legal team is pointing out is we should not depend on such a ceasefire to come through a political negotiation, because it's not happening, or through some action at the Security Council, because it's not happening. We're asking that the court uses its powers that has been conferred upon through the Genocide Convention to order the acts of genocide to end, and that includes an explicit order for the cessation of hostilities to end.